Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is a quick update and analysis of the Ukrainian offensive. Particularly, we are talking about the main thrust into Robotyne. And Robotyne is actually here. This is Robotyne. This is part of the Orikhiv sector. This is Robotyne, and this is part of the Orikhiv sector on the Zaporizhzhia front. And so the Ukrainian offensive, this main thrust, this main massive attack is actually really huge. It's actually 3 battalions strong, and they are all hitting in this one sector. And the Ukrainian, according to pro-Russian sources, it says that they attack in three different locations all along this Russian defense line. So this is the first line of defense just off Robotyne, all along the main road. As you can see, there's actually this road all the way that stretches along to the east of Robotyne, and the Ukrainian forces hit it in 3 different locations. I believe each location is actually the full battalion. So one battalion hit around this area here, another one hit in between, and then there's another one that penetrates all the way to the eastern part of this defense line. And as such, in terms of Russian, the pro-Russian mapping, they map that the gray zone goes all the way to the east, and this is a very unusual situation because it shows that the Ukrainians are actually attacking along the entire trench system, and this attack is reportedly over 100 vehicles strong. And according to the information from the Russian Defense Ministry, they reported that in the course of the battle, 22 Ukrainian tanks, 10 infantry fighting vehicles, which is similar to Bradleys or BMPs, and 1 armored fighting vehicles was destroyed. And over 100 Ukrainian soldiers were killed in this offensive. And it seems like this massive attack, despite the way how it was mapped, didn't seem to break the line. The Ukrainians did not have a foothold onto this alleged this not alleged, but this actual defense line, this trench line, despite that we do have mappings, as you can see in our mapping. The Ukrainian mapping or pro-Ukrainian mapping can go, if you look at in the pro-Ukrainian side, in the most pro-Ukrainian way, the mapping actually shows that the Ukrainians actually even goes all the way to this forest region, this forest area here. But in reality, it doesn't seem to be that case. In reality, the Russians seems to have most of this area here along this along the forest. Wrong color. So all along here, and they have some of this all this forest region here, and the Ukrainians are holding up along the forest line north of Robotyne. And this seems to be more in tune to what the reality should be. And that's also where the Ukrainians launched their attack from, as they try to attack into the entire line. And this attack, based on information that I can see from pro-Russian sources, it seems like they did not work out, and they tried to redraw. After the attack failed, they tried to redraw, and as they redraw, the Russian forces shell them as they get on the way out of this contact line. So the Russians are doing massive shelling on the Ukrainian side as they withdraw, and the Ukrainians did not entirely give up. So this way of attacking is the so-called NATO way of fighting. Because in one article, the Germans are actually complaining that the Ukrainians are not following the NATO doctrine. Despite they train in the NATO ways, they blame the Ukrainian senior officers of not embracing the NATO way of fighting, the Western way of fighting. So maybe this offensive is part of this politics that's happening behind the scene, that the Ukrainians want to show NATO that your tactics doesn't work on the battlefield. And of course, NATO would not have believed it. So they have to do it and show it and that's why we have this massive concentration of 3 different battalions in a single spot. Basically, no, Robotyne, this, to have 3 different battalions hitting in one location, this is a lot of forces. And however, it didn't break the line. So, and the next morning, which is this morning, based on the latest report from pro-Russian sources, the Ukrainians are back. But this time around, they're going back to the Ukrainian style, where they have small squads of infantry. And this time around, the Ukrainian forces are trying to return and try to grab this trench line again. But this time around through their infantry, Ukrainian style, small group of infantries. So so far it did not work out as well again, based on the information that I can see. The Ukrainian forces were repulsed by the Russian forces, probably by shelling and infantry fighting, and they withdraw by 12 noon. I think this is by what time? By 12 noon, they actually have to withdraw. So since then, there is actually the front line actually went quiet. Based on the latest information that I do have as per the recording, there's no more fighting currently at the Robotyne front, or the front line at Robotyne. But we do have information from pro-Russian sources suggesting that the Ukrainians are gathering a lot of forces. Whoops, wrong color again. A lot of forces in the north of Robotyne. This force includes Leopard tanks, Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, and what's the other thing that? What's the other one? Kozak armored fighting vehicle. So most likely it's like an MRAP kind of thing. So there's a massive force gathering in the north of Robotyne. Maybe they're gonna try again. I believe maybe they're gonna try again. Maybe in a few days, or tomorrow, or tonight, or something. So so this is the situation over at Robotyne. The Russian forces continue to hold the positions, and it's kind of it must be very demoralizing for the Ukrainian side, because this is a really massive attack. We're talking about 100 vehicles with I believe 40 to 50 tanks. I believe reading something like this, all hitting in one single spot, in one single location. And we are talking about like in the distance of maybe 1 to 2 kilometers, they are hitting 1 to 2 kilometers front line with 3 battalions. So this is basically this is a very typical NATO or Western style of fighting. This is also something that I learned during my military days, that you try to plan your attacks 3:1 in terms of the it doesn't mean that 3:1 is the only way. That is just a standard that we try to follow so that we have maximum firepower on a single position, and it did not work out. Russian Defense Ministry also seems to report that there was fighting in the area of Mala-Tomashka. So this Mala-Tomashka, and it seems like that the attack, there might be some other attacks that is heading some other places which the Russian forces managed to hold. So there might be some clashes elsewhere that it was maybe not as big, but it was also part of the offensive that the Russian forces have reported. The information, it's not by Russian Defense Ministry, by Ryaba. They say that the area around Mala-Tomashka has been repulsed. So yeah, that was a separate attack nearby. So we shall continue to see how this main thrust goes. We how to put it? It's I feel like, you know, it's not how to put it. It feels like the Ukrainians are making some progress. It's not just in this Orikhiv sector, you know, in the South Bakhmut front, in the front line south of Bakhmut, at Klishchievka region, there are very good advances on the Ukrainian side around Andriivka, west of Andriivka, within Klishchievka. The Ukrainians are making progress. And over at this front line, over here at Robotyne, the Ukrainian forces make very hard sacrifices to push all the way to the edge of Robotyne. And no, maybe this is why, you know, the NATO side, you know, Pentagon got really excited because finally there's some results, and then the Ukrainians really gonna push in this NATO style offensive, and which is why they call it the main thrust. They basically just boast about it, saying that, oh, this is where the main thrust is coming, and they believe that the Ukrainians is going to break through, and it did not work out. It did not break through, because if it had break through, I'm quite sure many of these pro-Russian sources will be talking about it, because they are not under this they're not as under this as strict martial law or no limitation of information as per the Ukrainians are, which is why Ukrainian information sometimes, you know, it fluctuates a lot, whether they want to give us this information or not. But on the Russian side, that I didn't see any information of the Ukrainian breakthrough. And of course, there are claims that they take out a lot of Ukrainian forces and equipment. Of course, this usually, you know, what they do. Both Ukrainian side and Russian side both like to do that. But if there was a breakthrough, I believe the Ukrainian side will also be, you know, celebrating as well. So it did not. So I'm not sure if this force over here, wrong button. This force over here will be able to make another massive push to able to break through. So far, it is interesting that they decided to go for the trench line instead of going straight for the town. That is yeah, I'm not sure what is the concern, or maybe it's because of the high ground low ground kind of thing that they decided to go for the high ground rather than go straight into the town. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is the situation over at Robotyne and the Orikhiv sector of the Zaporizhzhia front. So anyway, thank you for watching. I will continue to monitor this main thrust, and we shall see how this goes. Subscribe if you are new to this channel, and I'll see you in the next update.